What is going on, everybody? We are the EJC NFL Pod. We're back. We got a special guest today. I'm going to give him the proper introduction he deserves in just one moment. Shane, all right, I'm going to make sure I got all this right, so you correct me if I'm wrong, all right?
Okay.
So Shane Barrett from the Fantasy Football Astronauts, co-host of the Fantasy Nightcap and ADP Report podcast, and newly minted, wasn't about a month ago, Dynasty writer for Going for Two. Did I forget anything?
No, you nailed it.
God dang it. I love to be right. And to my two co-hosts, my two normal people that are here, they deserve no introduction and they will get no introduction. No, I'm just playing. What's up? What's up, Jason? How are you, man?
You know I'm living strong, bro.
We
keep doing this every episode. We gotta keep doing this.
I have to. One episode you told me you weren't living strong.
You're right. You're right.
You said mediocre or something
and then
like that.
Cam had some kind of problem with it. Yeah, he was living good. Oh, he was living good
Yeah, I stole it real hard.
Cam, have you improved your grammar any since then?
No, not good. No.
You didn't learn you anything, did you?
You don't tell me words about nothing. Nobody learns me anything except for me.
Good God.
Roll Tide.
Tide. So we got a pretty cool show. Dare say an awesome show. We're going to be going over the AFC North. Once again, fantasy football prognostications. I'm really mad at myself for naming it that. Because that's like a 4-syllable word that I am not smart enough to say correctly.
I'm mad every time I see the new show dog.
Dude, I don't even try. Whenever I mention the show name, I'm just like, yeah, we're going over the NFC, AFC. Like, I'm not going to give you the whole thing.
Well, it's good to know my work is so appreciated by you guys. I appreciate that. But we're going to be going over all the fantasy relevant players. We might be throwing some deep dives in there, but for the most part, this is going to be more focused on redraft. But we're going to talk about Dynasty. Absolutely going to talk about Dynasty in there as well. But before we get to that, we got our news, rumors, conjectures segment. You talking good?
You talking good?
Shane, yeah. So the story behind that, have you seen the show 60 Days In?
Yes.
So there was this individual, he was having a birthday in jail, and that's just not what you're supposed to do, I guess. Yeah.
No.
So he comes up to the pod and he's like, yo, it's my birthday. And they're like, oh, it's your birthday, you talking good? And they just beat the shit out of him.
They kicked the shit out of this dude. So
this is our set. We're not going to beat anybody up, but it makes me laugh every time I hear it.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right. So the first thing, Jason, you put about 16 paragraphs in the show doc about some random stats that have no context to me. So first one is the Julio Jones rumors, right? We all saw what happened with Shannon Sharp. Julio was on the phone saying, hey, I'm the hell out of here at Atlanta. Jason, since you did put so much time and effort into that, can you explain this system to me here?
Well, yeah. I mean, before I even start, Tran, we both know Tennessee doesn't have the cap space. Like, we all know it. You don't have to type it. Don't type it.
Shut up about it.
You just go ahead and shut up, Tran. Yeah, we know we don't have the cap space in Tennessee. But, just kind of looking over, his career with the Falcons and specifically how it worked out with the running game. And what I found was basically that the Falcons were like the 20th best or 20th worst, however you want to look at it, team in rushing over Julio's career. So the two seasons that stick out are obviously 2012 and 2016. 2016 being the Super Bowl year. They were the 7th highest scoring offense in the regular season of NFL history when they could actually run the ball, when they were a top 5 rushing team. So my point in writing all that to you was that we got a pretty good running back in Tennessee, and I think he'd like to go somewhere where we can run the ball. Mine also, there was a 27th ranked defense the year they went to the Super Bowl. So they didn't have to have they didn't have some kind of exquisite defense hanging out. Like I could see Tennessee being the best fit, not to mention A.J. Brown's undying love
I'm jumping on that bandwagon. I'm gonna start sending out videos too. Like I'm a no name, but I'm just gonna be like, please, dude, please, for the love of God, come to Tennessee.
But also New England, they can run the ball in New England. That might be another reason why he's looking there.
Yeah. What do you think, Shane? What did you think it did? Okay, let me ask you this: have you seen that video of AJ Brown like completely simping over trying to get Julio Jones in Tennessee?
I saw the video, but I didn't actually watch it. If that makes sense. Like I was scrolling on my timeline and I saw it, but wasn't in an area where I could. I think I was working, so I couldn't actually watch it and listen to it. But then I saw something else on the timeline today that it was like AJ Brown is pushing for Julio to come to Tennessee, and I'd love it, honestly. Like I have no affiliation to Tennessee other than Atlanta. Now it's no, that's not true. It's one of the three closest teams to me. So I'm right here, right there in Greenville, South Carolina, and originally from Birmingham. So Nashville's not far. So that's the only affiliation I have with Tennessee. That being said, I'd love Julio to go there because him and AJ Brown would be absolutely nasty. Now I hate it because last night on my show with Scott Fish, which will come out next week, I picked Josh Reynolds as a sleeper for redraft this year. So, but I did put the caveat, unless Julio goes there. If Julio goes there, bye Josh Reynolds.
Yeah.
If Julio doesn't go there, bye Josh Reynolds.
There you go. Yeah.
You're not the first person I've heard that from. So.
Yeah, I was pushing for Josh Reynolds. I know, Jason, you're not the biggest fan of Josh Reynolds, but that's okay.
I just had him in fantasy somehow, some way since I don't know, for the last 4 years, and I just get scared all the time. He's had opportunities.
He showed up for like a 3 or 4 game stretch.
Yeah, it was
it
the
maybe
end of
the end
one
of
season,
2019 or something?
Yeah, but outside of that,
he wasn't bad. The only thing I'll say about it is it pushes AJ Brown down in my rankings for sure if Julio goes to Tennessee, just because I think AJ Brown would have been like Devontae Adams levels of targets, like Devontae Adams in 2020. So, but we'll see. Either way, and I forgot to say this as well. Jason and Cam are both Tennessee Titans fans, so certainly outnumbered. So yeah, I can't even imagine what our group chat will look like if Julio gets signed there.
Oh, it's going to be horrible. You're going to hate both
you
of us.
You don't want to know.
I hate you already, so it's going to be even worse now.
Damn.
The only other thing we had and this is not even a rumor or whatever, but I just thought it was interesting, and it's a couple good conversation to have from it. But CMC is, of course, thankful to be back on the practice field for whatever that's worth. I'll ask a question to each of you. Start with you, Cam. Is he the running back one for fantasy in 2021?
Me personally, yeah. I mean, the stuff he's done, and how can you deny it? I mean, and I'm not talking shit to anybody that doesn't think so, but I'm just like, bro, like he's the man. Like as much as I love, Derrick Henry, obviously because of my bias, and as much as I love Dalvin Cook, I think Dalvin Cook's going to be phenomenal this year. Christian McCaffrey is he's the fucking man, dude.
Yeah. What about you, Shane? I see you nodding along.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, the last full season that he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards on the receiving, and that put him. I still think that made him the RB1, and that was excluding his touchdowns. So yeah,
Jesus,
dude's ridiculous.
That's
He's just
awesome.
The only I'll give you a dark horse for RB1, and this may be to try and kiss ass a little bit. But Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
My man, that's what I'm talking about. I got him in Dynasty. He's my favorite running back. He's fucking on my favorite team. I love it. I love this fucking guy.
You can't say anything about Derrick Henry around Cam, or this is the reaction that happens.
Well, I can't stand him for Dynasty, but for redraft, I'm all over him.
Yeah.
Oh, the hand strikes and it gives a flower.
I'll take it, whatever. I'm cool with that.
What about you, Jason? I know you're a huge. I think in our longest running league, you have him as your keeper, right?
Yeah, CMC is definitely my guy. Well, look, he played 3 games. One of them he was injured in, and he still averaged 27.5 points over the 3 games that he played last season. So if you actually projected that against 16 games, it's some absurd number. It's 440, I believe. And I think Derrick Henry only put up 337. So that's more than 100 more points than the number 1 running back in fantasy for 2020. So, yeah, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, y'all have exhausted that.
Yep. That horse is dead and beat.
We beat that thing. Just didn't even care. Just started beating him. So perfect. I'm just for the record, I'm with y'all. CMC is awesome. All right, so on to the AFC North. We're going to talk about some fun fantasy players. I don't know why I said fun fantasy players. I just want alliteration in there, I suppose. But so the lay of the land.
You being fancy.
I just try, it's going to backfire on me one of these days, probably here in the next 5 minutes. Quick warning for everybody out there. ADP is trash right now. I could not find any good ADP. There was like Najee Harris was like RB30 in 3 of the sites I found. I was like, we're not doing that. We're not going to do that. So what we're going to use is Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings. So if you hear me say ECR, exactly. So we're going to use ECR as kind of the barometer for, and obviously that's not ADP, but at least it gives us a decent idea of what we're looking at there. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do like everybody else. We're going to start alphabetically. I almost said chronologically. See, you get too fancy. Not so fast, my friend. So we're going to start with the Baltimore Ravens.
Okay, Luke Corso.
Baltimore, the past 2 seasons since Lamar Jackson has been the starter at quarterback, 406 and 440 pass attempts. It actually decreased from 2019 to 2020, which was crazy because I didn't think that could actually happen. That's 846 total. Fun fact, Pittsburgh had 78% of that in 2020 alone. 78% of those pass attempts in one season for Pittsburgh. So Baltimore does not want to throw the ball if they don't have to.
Well, they have a running back playing quarterback, so that's why.
Not too bad for a running back, right? So, and hey, that's a great segue. That's how you do it professionally right there. We're going to talk about Lamar Jackson first. On this podcast, quarterbacks are known as the most position. Not the most important, not the most fantasy points scored, but they're the most position because I am, in fact, an idiot. And I said it like that one time. And these two terrible human beings I call my co-hosts won't let me live it down.
You can't let it go.
I can't. Shane, we'll start with you. Is Lamar a top 5 quarterback for you in redraft in 2021?
Nope.
Okay. Who do you have over him then?
Mahomes, obviously. Allen, Kyler, Dak. And Herbert.
Oh, okay.
I would take Herbert over him.
That's a little bit of a hot take, I think. I'm going to look it up.
So it's funny because last offseason, I was off Herbert. I'm an Auburn fan. I watched him play against Auburn in the first game of 2018, I think. And he did, to me, it didn't seem like he had it between the ears. So I was off of him. He got drafted by the Chargers. He came in, lit it up. I completely flipped my script. So I'm all in on Justin Herbert. I'm trying to draft him wherever I can. Even before the season over, I did a mid-season startup, if you will, with Jay and a bunch of guys and Cooter and Troy. And I took Justin Herbert at the 106.
Jesus. In a Superflex, obviously.
Superflex Dynasty. Okay. But still, that was pretty early.
That's real early. That's real early.
But that's how bullish I am on Herbert. So I don't foresee a sophomore slump coming for him. So I would take him over Lamar this year. I just Rashad Bateman's going to be the X factor for Lamar, I think. He's a different type of receiver than Hollywood Brown, and Hollywood, the way that he plays, he's got to rely on Lamar being accurate deep, and he's not. Rashad is going to be able to work across the middle and use different types of routes, I think, to help Lamar, similar to how Stephon Diggs helped Josh Allen last year. Now, I want to be very, very, very clear. Rashad Bateman does not equal Stephon Diggs.
I thought that's what you just said, though. No, I'm just playing.
I got to be more clear. No.
Same type of player, but not same talent level yet. So I think having someone who's going to be a route technician is going to help Lamar have somebody over the middle that he can rely on and be like, oh, I don't have to just chuck it deep to Hollywood. I've got Rashad over the middle.
Absolutely. And Jason, you remember I don't know how many months ago it was, our debate was it was Chris Godwin versus who in the free agency period?
Oh, man.
Do you remember, Jason?
Allen Robinson, Chris
Allen
Godwin,
Robinson versus Chris
and
Godwin.
There
Yeah,
was one other, but
there was, and that's what Jason and I kept going back and forth with. Was he needs a possession receiver, someone who can work the intermediate stuff, just be open, get separation, and be open for Lamar. And I think that's what they got. And I wanted to ask you. Well, we'll get to Bateman in a minute, and we'll try not to jump around too much. Jason, did we hit you for the top? Is Lamar top 5 for you?
It's yeah, for me, he's QB 4 or 5. He was looks like he was 9 in 2020, which seems. I feel like he was higher than that, but it might just be all.
He was a lot lower, and then the end of the year, like especially the Cleveland game, I think that was a regular season game.
Right.
I think it was the last.
They blew up like the last 3 games, and he ended up propping himself up to 9.
Well, and Dobbins kind of did too. Like after week 11, he never scored less than 13 fantasy points a game.
Yep.
Like J.K. Dobbins actually kind of exploded, and I feel like when he has a running game, he doesn't really per se need like a real workhorse back. He just needs somebody who can complement it, so he can get his going too. So I like Dobbins there. Gus Edwards is still he's still averaging more than 5 yards a carry.
Dude,
so
he is so underrated.
Right. So you add a few weapons outside of that. I wouldn't say like I believe Bateman's going to come out and blow up and make Lamar Jackson a top 5 quarterback. But what I would say is having some new weapons and having Sammy Watkins, having some guys out there is only going to improve the tight ends value. And I feel like Lamar Jackson can get back to that year 2 form if he can really get going over the middle of his tight end.
Yeah.
Got you.
I like that. And the only thing I would comment on that, Jason, is that like in his year 2, his touchdown ratio was out of this world. Like I think it was 36%, or it was 36 or 9, and either way, it was really fucking high. And I don't like. That's why I'm lower on him. Is just because I don't know if that level of production is repeatable.
Yeah, and for the record, it was 9% touchdown percentage, which is crazy. I don't think Aaron Rodgers has ever. Maybe last year, don't think he's ever saw 9%. And then even last
good
year,
is like 6.
Oh, it is. Yeah, 6. Like Russell Wilson for his career, we all know he's been incredibly efficient. I want to say he averages like a 6.2, 6.3 touchdown percentage. But
exactly.
Lamar was 6.9% last year. So add a few weapons to him. I like it. I don't like any sort of passing or receiving weapons in a pie that small. We're not getting a whole lot of volume. I am strictly almost always volume over. I don't want to say volume over talent, but it is kind of that situation for me. So Jason, you had mentioned J.K. Dobbins. I got a question.
I'll take Lamar Jackson in my top 5 quarterbacks. I'll go fuck.
I thought I asked you already.
No, you didn't. Let's go. We're past it.
Well, I don't care. I told you I don't care about your opinion. So, J.K. Dobbins. All right, Cam, I'm gonna start with you. Good God, you're so whiny tonight. No, I'm just playing.
God damn it!
Better get the damn Ravens facts ready.
Get your Ravens.
Yeah, I got a good Ravens fact.
Oh, sweet. So I got 4 running backs here. They're all going into their 2nd season. Cam Akers, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift, and Antonio Gibson. Cam, I want you to rank those 4 right there for me. He doesn't. Shane does not like that at all.
So, as my lust in the group for Cam Akers towards you to get him to me, it should show.
This is what he does. Give me Cam Akers. No trade requests. Just sends me messages. Give me Cam Akers.
Yeah, I'm giving you the open, to send me an offer, what you think is good. Like I'm telling you, I want Cam Akers, but I'm gonna start sending you more. Anyway, so I would put Cam Akers first because I'm a Swift owner. I'm gonna put him second. Plus, I think he's in line for a big year. I feel it like he's just. And not to be that guy that goes by everybody else, but I mean, all the podcasts, it seems like that's a common take. Is just he's going to have a hell of a year if he's healthy. So I'd say Cam Akers, Swift, Dobbins, and then Gibson. That would be my 4.
Jason, what about you?
Man, you're an asshole for real. I'll take Akers.
Yeah. You want me to throw
I'll say-
CEH in
all
there
right.
too, just to make it
Fuck
harder?
Thank you.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I love CEH.
Um,
Let's throw him in there. Let's throw him in there as well.
That's why you got the
Jesus
finger. It
Christ.
was because you left CEH off.
Okay.
Oh, got you. My bad.
All right. So
God, his ass.
CEH too, because that guy could go full on.
Dude,
Oh my
CEH could
God.
literally be the running back one, but I digress on that.
Yeah. Shit. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go Cam Akers. I hate myself for this one. Antonio Gibson, CEH, DeAndre Swift, then J.K. Dobbins because I don't like Gus Edwards with that. Like I said, the guy is like 4 years, averages 5 yards a carry over 4 years. Like, dude's not going anywhere. Like, he's still going to be a thorn in the side. Whereas I know people talk about McKissick and other backs being a part of Antonio Gibson's problem, but man, with how fast that offense is, I just see him catching so many balls this year. I got to leave it like that.
Okay. Shane, we added CEH just for you.
I
He needs to
appreciate
be
that.
number one, obviously.
Yeah, I'm going. So I'll go CEH, Swift, Dobbins, Akers, Gibson.
Wow. The
I
hate
like
that.
for Cam Akers is
That's strange.
because
I've
when you
not.
rank somebody low, that means you hate them, right? That's
Yeah.
exactly what it means.
Yeah.
Tag him on Twitter. Tag him. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I've never been a huge Cam Akers fan, and I recently released my rankings, and that was a lot more apparent in those than I thought it was. Because that was the number one question I got was, why the hell are you so low on Cam Akers? And I was like, I don't know, I just always have been. And he hadn't really, I don't know, he hadn't done enough yet for me personally to move him up yet. But I love CEH. And the moves that they have made this offseason, he's going to just ball the out.
You can say it's fine.
I'm trying to limit it though, because it could be every other word.
Yeah.
Cam does that, so
Yeah, Cam
Yeah, I
takes
don't-
all the good ones. So.
yeah.
Swift, I think, is going to have a really good year. Anthony Lynn's an idiot if he really thinks he's going to use Jamal Williams over Swift. But that being said, if Swift is in the Eckler role, gimme.
Yeah.
Because he's still going to ball out because Jared Goff is going to need a safety valve. So, yeah, give me all the Swift. I love Dobbins. I think the talent is going to win out like it should. Akers, if he gets the volume that everyone's expecting him to, he'll move up. My actual rankings, but out of these four, I'm or five, I'm still leaving him at 4 just because I love the other 3 that much. And then Gibson, same thing. I just haven't been super high on him, and like a lot of his production, if you go back and look at last year, came against Dallas. Dallas's defense was so damn bad that my 91-year-old grandmother could run through them and score a touchdown.
Yeah, they were
It's my
terrible.
favorite
And
day.
she did.
Honest to
And
God.
she
So
did.
I'm really so I think I started Antonio Gibson in one of my leagues during that Thanksgiving game. I was at some friend's house having some beers, and I'm watching the game, and I'm like, "You're ruining my American holiday right now."
Yeah.
Antonio Gibson ruined my American holiday, so I couldn't eat. Actually, I ate a lot. I was sick. Probably is how much I ate, but it was.
Were you
pretty
stress
upsetting.
eating because the Cowboys were getting run over again?
Again, is the great word to
Yeah.
say there. God, because you're one of your teams is the Cowboys, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
So
you
I
the pain
feel
with
your
it.
pain. The reason I make that comment about my grandmother is because I feel the pain with you, Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I feel it more because these two send me memes about Cowboys, like literally after every single loss. I'm like, guys, I'm down. You don't have to kick me, but they just keep me.
No,
you don't
it's
have
the
to.
y'all just checking to see if y'all still them boys memes. Those are the best.
Yeah,
Those are
Oh,
the
yeah.
best. I
Just checking
can't
to
not
see if
send
y'all
it to
still
you.
their boys.
It's the best
Listen,
meme on the planet. I
this
don't
is the
give a
AFC
shit.
North. We don't need to be talking about the Cowboys in here.
All right, well, hold on.
Um,
Time out. Shane, got a question. CEH. All right. So Kareem Hunt, year 1 in that Chiefs offense. Where's
Uh-huh.
CEH? Where's CEH for you this year? If that's the bar,
Oh,
under, over, on.
I'm gonna say like here's the bar.
Uh-huh.
He's coming like right here, I think.
So okay. I love
Just under.
I love it.
Kareem Hunt was like RB6 that year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Something
He
like
was
that.
sick. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
sick.
Ooh, buddy, that would be nice.
And I just think that because they brought if I remember right, they brought Darrell Williams back. Like they signed him to a new contract.
Yeah.
So I think he'll be there to spell CEH enough to where he doesn't hit the bar that Kareem Hunt set that year, but he'll come in just under. And I think Williams is talented too, but I like CEH is like he was my RB1 last year. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh yeah, no, he was nasty. He's like ECR 17 right now. In case we have new viewers, ECR's expert consensus rankings on Fantasy Pros. So he's 17. He's lower than everybody else in that list of 5 that we just gave out.
I
according
don't
to
get
them,
it.
but like, yeah, that's me too, man. I don't get the Antonio Gibson love. He had 11 touchdowns, 3 of which came against Dallas on that Thanksgiving game. He averaged something like 13 touches a game, and that was it. And I know he's a rookie. That's fine, whatever. You lost Alex Smith. Ryan Fitzpatrick don't check down. He don't. Like Terry McLaurin, baby, to the moon. But Antonio Gibson, he just doesn't do it for me. But I am so sorry. We're getting off topic here. Gus Edwards, I'm telling you, we'll be here for 3 hours. Gus Edwards, he's RB42.
Have that effect on people.
It's all good, man. He's RB42 in ECR. I don't know, Shane, do you do the projections? Like, do you type in an Excel spreadsheet like Cal Yates, some of these other guys that do that stuff?
I don't go that far with my rankings, so I'm not yet at least, and I don't foresee myself doing that because I'm not that smart. But I hate Gus Edwards. I really do. He's a thorn in the side of all of my J.K. Dobbins shares. And that's about all I got to add, really.
Gotcha.
If you have Dobbins, you need Gus Edwards. I'm a huge handcuff guy, and especially in that offense. Like if Dobbins were to go down, Edwards' value,
He's RB1. Like,
yeah,
Easy.
straight through the roof.
the reason I say that is because in his 3 seasons with Baltimore, he has seen 137 rushes, 133 rushes, and 144 rushes. His role is carved out.
Yeah.
His role is carved out. So we can obviously Mark Ingram is gone. We can project the rest of whatever that ratio is. I don't have it off the top of my head. We can project the rest of that for J.K. Dobbins. But Gus Edwards is going to get his.
He actually had 10 more carries than Dobbins last year.
Holy smokes. Yeah. Which is wild. And they actually both saw I don't excuse me. Choking to death. I don't care about red zone touches so much for running backs. I care about 5 zone. That means carries inside the 5-yard line at the other team's end zone. He saw 10 5-zone rushes, same amount as Dobbins did last season. And that's when Dobbins had 10 touchdowns over the last 8 games or whatever it was. So he's going to be, like you said, Shane, a thorn in the side. Cam, I don't want to leave you out. Do you have anything to add, buddy?
I pretty much nailed it.
Got you. All right, so we're going to go through these freaking wide receivers super quick. Sammy Watkins, I don't care. Puke emoji.
He'll be hurt after game 3. It doesn't matter.
Exactly. But starting week 1, because he's going to get about 38 points.
Yeah, just the 1 week. Yeah.
And then Jason is going to blow 60% of his fab on him, like you did last year, right, buddy?
On what? I did not.
I thought you. Somebody
on
did.
Watkins?
I thought you did.
No.
Them fight words, dude.
I know. And then so for Hollywood Brown, I forgot to say, Sammy Watkins, wide receiver 78 in ECR. Marquise Hollywood Brown, wide receiver 44 in ECR. And Rashad Bateman, wide receiver 64 in ECR.
Ooh.
They don't like his options at all. Lamar's ranked 4th.
Give me Bateman at that price. I know that's not ADP, but give me Bateman at that price.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I looked up the Dynasty because I had a question for you, Shane, because I know you're mainly a Dynasty guy. He's wide receiver 40 in Dynasty ECR. So that's a 24, spot bump. Are you an active fan of his in Dynasty? Are you looking to get shares? Like, let's say, into the first round in rookie drafts, or are you kind of shopping those picks if you have those?
If it's super flex and it's into the first, I'm not taking them. I think there's better options that you can still get that fall because of the super flex value. If it's 1 QB, I might take him at 112 or 201. I might depend on team need at that
Cam,
point.
Did you hear that? Cam has the 112 and the 201 in our Dynasty
Yeah,
league
so
together,
go ahead and project him for Bateman next time. Leave me the hell out of it. I was insulted the other day. Sir.
He got so mad at me.
I was mad.
Yeah.
I was insulted.
More fighting words.
Dude, my home dynasty rookie draft is in 43 days. I think I just looked at Sleeper
gosh.
today.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the biggest rebuild ever. And I have 4 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and I think 3 third-round picks at least. Like, I cannot wait for this draft.
Those are the fun ones, man. When you have all those picks and you're just like, so my approach this season was, and these guys are going to rib me mercilessly about it.
Oh yeah,
I finished
Get
second
ready.
2 years in a row. So we're going into our third season. I was like, fuck that, never again. And so I just traded. I want to say 3 first-round picks or something like that. I traded them all. I got Cortland Sutton for it. I got, anyways, it doesn't matter. I just straight up traded all my picks away to win the championship this year. So you'll see me really sad around the end of December or really happy, and you'll know why.
Okay.
Oh, it's gonna be real sad,
Bad.
and we're gonna be real happy. We're gonna bring you back on the pod. We're gonna bring you back on the pod like the day that we know like who won the championship on our dynasty. We're gonna be like, call Shane back in. We got to talk about this.
Yeah.
I'm not showing up. So Matty
love
Daddy
it.
says Dobbins RB9, baby, mark it down. Dobbins RB9.
Mhm.
That's a bit bullish. I think that's definitely
That's
bullish.
spicy.
That is.
The top 10 guy. I mean, you could do it. I think it's going to have to be off of touchdown efficiency to make that happen. But with as good as that offense is going to be, you could do it. And then last but not least on Baltimore, Mark Andrews. I can't get out of here without mentioning my dude, tight end 5 in expert consensus rankings. Just a couple things for him. His average depth of target has gone down each season he's been a starter. He doesn't like the year he broke out 2019, he was like 5th in targets. Last season, he was 10th in targets. I only see that volume continuing to go down with Rashad Bateman working the middle of the field. Tylan Wallace, from my understanding, I'm not a big college guy, so I don't know his game super well. But from my understanding, he's kind of a separation type guy too. So Mark Andrews at like tight end 5 for me, I'm out. I'm out on that. Like around 8, 9, 10, I can look at that. Dude, I think there's some really good options this season, but I'll get y'all's opinion on it. Shane, what do you think about Mark Andrews this season?
I think tight end 5 is right around where he should go, honestly. Obviously, it's Pitts, Kelsey, Waller. Then for me, there's another, like, that's tier 1. Then the next tier for me is Andrews, Hawk, and Pitts, if we're talking dynasty. Redraft, you might drop Pitts a little bit further down until Julio gets traded. But yeah, that'd be my group of 3. So I'd be fine taking Andrews at 5, especially if you want to get a top 5 tight end. But I agree with you, Erik, that I think there's some other options later on, because like the tier after that, which is like Fant,
you start. Go ahead.
Ingram, maybe Goddard.
Never again.
Never again on Ingram. Like, I'm not like, I took Fant in a best ball draft because I was trying to draft people that I didn't have shares of, which kind of tells you what I think of Fant.
Yes.
And it's just because there's so many options in that offense. So yeah, I'd take Mark Andrews at tight end 5, especially if you want to solidify a good, like a solid producer at tight end. I think that's a good spot for him.
I think that's the perfect way to describe it. He's solid. He's not going to be remarkable, but he's solid. Cam, do you have Mark Andrews in the Dynasty League, or?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say about it too. I got Mark Andrews, and he's consistent, man. Like, I know every time like I play him, like he's going to put up some points for me. Like, I ain't got to worry about him having like a really bad game or anything like that. He might not be the greatest game, but I know I'm still going to get points with him. So I am 100% cool with him being, tight end 5. I'm cool with that.
Real quick, my dude, Maximus Sean, I think is your first name. This dude is all in on Cam Akers. Literally, he doesn't mean RB1 like top 12. He means the RB1 at the end of the season.
No,
I was like, we were talking on Clubhouse, and I was like, hey, dude, I could see it happening. I love Cam Akers. I love him.
You could see it happening with Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara,
Saquon's back.
Derrick Henry's like 3 billion touches. Really, you could see Cam Akers being the RB1. You could see that.
Cam Akers averaged, when he took over at the end of the season, he averaged over 23 opportunities per game. he was seeing all the volume. I don't want to talk about his goal line efficiency because it wasn't great.
What
But
was his fantasy points per game in those games?
I don't have it off the top of my head.
Yeah, because he screwed a lot
in
of guys at the end of the season.
It's in a Google Doc somewhere. I can find it. It's like way, way down. I did a pod a couple months back about it, but it was something crazy. It was like, I want to say he was like 18.5 points or something like that. He wasn't. It wasn't as good as it could have been because, like I said, he wasn't getting any touchdowns. And Jordan says, "Shane,
Hey, Jordan. Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
Shout out to Jordan. Jordan, we've
pulling
been
back up
on
here.
a couple pods lately. I like you, Jordan. We need to hang out more.
Jordan, come on the pod."
But let's be friends.
Totally. I'm down.
That's what we do.
guy-
We build friendships here.
Except for our friendships between us, like the co-hosts, we break those down.
Yeah.
But with
Chip
other
away.
folks, we were actually like really nice. I totally got off topic.
It's all good, man.
Oh, Jason,
Start-
I think it was to
oh.
you. It
Yep.
was to you
Oh,
for
on Andrews?
Mark Andrews. Yes, sir.
I already said it, man. I feel like the additions of wide receivers only benefit him. I don't think I see it the opposite way you see it. I don't see Bateman coming in right away and just taking all this man's shine over the middle. Like I see it the opposite way. So
Okay, fair enough. I think Mark Andrews, once again, with Baltimore, that whole offense is going to depend on touchdowns. But he was like, I think he finished as a tight end 2 or 3 in 2019. He had 10 touchdowns. So you're going to want to see that again. So let's move on. Cam.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on
So-
1 second here. Let me pull it up. Oh, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
Sorry.
There we go. Yeah.
So
NFL
if you don't know-
Shinfo.
What is Shinfo?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This is shitty info, whether it be facts that don't make sense or obvious facts or shit that, I definitely researched. None of this is off the cuff. I'm just going to go right into it. I only got one fact for the Ravens. And it's pretty wild if you think about this. The Ravens got their name from Baltimorean Edgar Allan Poe. The quote, the Raven, that's where they got it from, which is awesome that it was just wasted on such a shitty fucking team. Back to you, Erik.
Oh, God. Shane almost in a spit take. Oh,
Hey,
God.
Fuck 'em.
as a Tennessean, he is allowed to say it.
Yep.
He is
Fuck 'em.
encouraged to say it.
Okay,
Let it
I'm
be
sitting
heard from the mountaintop.
table right now, and the door to my backyard patio is right there. My daughter's chair with her high chair is there, and there's a box right here. I almost just soaked all of them.
Well, I'm glad that I could bring that
There we
joy.
go. So
And
Cam
also
is very
football.
professional. He's a consummate
Yeah.
professional with this Shinfo here. So
Yep.
let's get to the Bengals real quick. I don't see. Well, anyways, I'll let y'all get y'all's opinion. Joe Burrow on track to play Week 1. Here's the question: is he going to be 100% though? Because Dak Prescott on track to play Week 1. Is he going to be 100%? But Jason, I'll send it to you. Your eyes are looking. You're looking inquisitive. You're excited to get some information.
I
out there to
like
some
Burrow,
peeps.
man.
I know you
I like
you
Burrow.
love every quarterback. That's the problem. That's why you can't play Superflex because you would literally
Quarterbacks are
draft
the
like
most.
7. They're the most position.
They're in this position, man. I don't understand you. No, I mean, I just, dude, if you watch that championship game with Burrow and Clemson, what's not to love about this guy, man? I mean, really, what's not to love about him? I always do my little projection over the season. Had he played every game, he would be looking at about 307 points. And I made him the QB 18. So it's really not a lot to be super hype over. But I really like Jamar Chase. And I kind of, and you're going to hate me for this one, kind of like Joe Mixon this year. So,
I'm out.
you're going to hate me. But yeah, man, you know what? I dipped a little too much PFF Kool-Aid, man. Like, yeah, they're already stroking Mixon again. It's like, I want to listen to this. But, yeah, Burrow, man, I'm saying QB, I say it's consistent. QB 20's his floor.
Like a mid-tier QB2 almost, like between
Yeah.
14 and 18, something like that.
18. I like that. I like 18.
Cam, what do
Okay.
you think about Shane?
Ooh,
Go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah, go
We
ahead,
have
Shane.
We have two hat guys down here on the bottom, and that's
Fucking hat guys, man. I
They
love this
always
guy.
wanna-
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Look, I gave up on my hairline, so I'm a fucking hat guy now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man.
That was Mother Nature that made that decision for you.
Yeah. So I know we're talking redraft, but for Dynasty, I have Joe Burrow's QB7. And what makes me want to vomit, and I'm trying to figure out how to fix it, is I have Joe Mixon at RB5 right now. And I don't know why. It's just how the scores came out, and I cannot get it to fix it. I would probably have him much lower just because I don't trust him. But I think Burrow will be fine this year. He will probably have a rougher start because of the injury. But then I think he gets in a groove and rocks and rolls to get to a cute, like, I'd say his ceiling is probably a QB1 this year, but like a low QB1. Where he'll probably end up will be a mid QB2, I think.
So you and Jason are pretty much agree, at least for redraft.
Well,
Yeah.
and also, here's the thing we can't factor in. Jamar Chase is yak, man. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit could really ramp him up. So you just don't know.
Look, the one thing that I need the Bengals to do is just cut the tight ends that they have on their roster and move Auden Tate to tight end.
Yes.
Right.
He's big enough to be a tight end.
He's 6'5".
Yeah, he's like 6'5", 230, 235.
He runs like a 4.6 or 4.7 40.
Jesus.
Just move him to tight end, please.
Yeah.
Like, I love CJ Uzoma, but he got hurt. He blew out his knee last year. See ya. Drew Sample ain't nothing special. See ya.
Nope. We've seen a big enough sample size of his, right?
Thaddeus Moss, there's some potential, but just please, I just need Auden Tate to get the ball. And he's not going to get it at receiver. So just put him at tight end, cut everybody else, and I'll be happy.
There you go. So from Shane, Bengals executives, take note. All right. Joe Mixon. All right, we're gonna move on. Sorry, Cam. You like? Do you like?
Bro, you're gonna skip me again. No, Joe Burrow's awesome. Keep going. Let's go. No.
Sorry, man. I'm just trying to move this show along. Joe Mixon.
No, I got you.
I hate him.
I told you I talked too much. I'm sorry.
I hate
No,
Joe
you're
Mixon.
good.
No. Joe Mixon. I hate him. He's literally outperformed his ADP one of his 4 seasons in the league. There's always something going on with him. He is getting more chances than I don't know who. Somebody who gets a lot of chances.
Josh Gordon? Too soon?
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Oh, God. And people, and everybody in every dynasty is like, I got to go pick him up. I'm like, why? He's going to get cut in 2 weeks because he can't, as Stephen A. Smith would say, stay off the weed.
That's funny.
Are you guys ready to get hurt? I know, Shane, you said he's your RB5, so obviously you're ready to get hurt again. Jason, are you ready to get hurt?
I'm not picking him as my RB5.
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready
to target him. Your body is ready for the Mixon experience.
Let's go.
At his ADP, yes. His ADP is much, much lower, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to look up. Like I said, I don't have all the ADP is trash, but I'm going to look up and see what his ranking is. Dude, he's still ranked as the RB12 in ECR.
Mm-hmm.
I saw
Get out of here, man.
3 different articles today about whether he was going to be, actually do something this year. Or he was going to be a bust, and it's just funny because I saw him consecutively today. I was just like, well, I guess everybody is on this train again.
This is what Joe Mixon does. I just kind of went through my notes for a second. The guy played 6 games, and the highest snap count he had in any of them was 83%. And
That's
people
awesome.
were drafting this guy. They were drafting this guy hand over fist. You were. I remember.
I did.
You had
I did.
high.
Yeah, I loved Joe Mixon last year, but I'm done. I'm done giving him chances, man. Because I was like, okay, cool. Well, he got hurt and blah blah blah. I just can't do it, man. So I'm gonna I'll talk a little bit. All right, let me put it this way: Jamar Chase. Talk about beating a dead horse. We've talked about Jamar Chase for 2-3 months now. He's everybody's darling in Dynasty. He's the new hotness in town. That's what I put on the show sheet because I'm a cool cat and I say stuff like that. He's wide receiver 29 in ECR, which is actually 2 spots lower than T. Higgins. which I think is appropriate in my opinion.
Yeah.
What is Jamar Chase's ceiling? And we know what his ceiling is for Dynasty. He could potentially be the wide receiver one probably. What is it for redraft in 2021? Whoever wants to jump in.
Well, I'll just get this right out the gate real quick. So I only play in a dynasty league right now. I haven't been in a redraft league in years. So I don't really know the take on redraft. I don't know what actually I would do, where I would take him. But as far as dynasty, I would love to have him. He would definitely be an asset, somebody that I would bet on.
Cool. Jason, what you got, bud?
Man, that's such a hard question. I hate you sometimes.
That's why I asked.
I hate him all the time.
Question.
Well,
Anderson
look, I mean, he's going to
Cooper,
play X.
okay?
He's going to play X, but he's going to have all these end arounds and screens and just crazy shit. Man, you know what? You asked me what his ceiling was, right?
Yes.
In redraft,
Just for 2021, yes.
his ceiling is wide receiver 9.
Just threw it out there. That's what it landed on.
I feel like we've done this. I feel like we've been building up to 8. I think we said Allen Robinson was 8, so I'm gonna stick him right behind a dependent.
That's why I keep telling y'all to do y'all's rankings so that we can.
I need to write them down. You're right.
I'm not going to write him
That's
down.
why I wrote mine down, because
Yeah.
they were all here and it all made sense. And then I scored it and I put weighted scoring on it. And it's like, what the fuck is going on?
It doesn't make sense.
I don't rank anything. I just listen to a bunch of podcasts and read a lot of articles and then scramble whoever's hot that week and then get turned down in the trade offer. So it's all
you
good.
say, I asked you, I said, give me $40 for Cam Akers, and you wouldn't even give me $40 for him.
Well, now I'm contemplating it. So we'll talk offline.
I am probably so far.
My man, coming through. Appreciate
Is
that.
that your brother-in-law?
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
it is.
No,
Out of
what's up?
consensus on this take. I want to be clear, though. I love Jamar Chase. I did not love this landing spot because I love T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd is still very good, and I wanted them to draft an offensive lineman to protect Burrow to actually give him time to throw the ball. I don't think I've gotten over that yet, so I'm lower on. And I just it's going to be hard for them unless Burrow is protected to support 3 really good wide receivers and have all 3 of them produce. So I think they're going to end up eating at each other, at least for this year. Now, Chase, I think, is the most talented out of the group, but he's going to be a rookie. So we know that the last year was an anomaly, I think. We know that there's a learning curve with rookies. Chase is generational. I will throw that label on him, but there's still going to be some kind of learning curve. I think they're still going to be eating at each other. I'm a little lower on Chase for this year. I'll say his ceiling is wide receiver 14.
Gotcha. Yeah, those are my exact thoughts, Shane. I think they're going to cannibalize, eat each other's targets. It's going to be a big target, like pie or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You just QT me? Oh, your timeout. Oh, I thought he said QT. That was a thing we used to say each other back in the day. Quiet time if you got dunked on. We'll move on to T. Higgins. I bet without Jason here, we're going to get such good opinions. He can't even defend himself. T. Higgins, put some respect on his name. Some respect.
Please do.
He's wide receiver 27, like I said, 2 spots higher than Jamar Chase. He averaged 7.9 targets with Burrow in the offense. That's pretty good. As you said earlier, Shane, I mean, we're going to see that kind of disperse a tad. I hate it for Tyler Boyd, who's up next for us, who's actually wide receiver 36. So all 3 of these receivers are in the wide receiver 2 to 3 range. Actually, they're all wide receiver 3s. Yeah, they're all wide receiver 3s in terms of their ECR.
I could see them all finishing there too because they cannibalize each other.
Exactly.
I think best case scenario, they all finish as wide receiver 2s. I think what's realistically going to happen is they end up cannibalizing each other and they end up all wide receiver 3s, which sucks because I think they're all damn good. I love T. Higgins. I was all over him last year. And like you said, he's shown he can be a wide receiver 1 and an alpha with Joe Burrow. I still think that's possible. And this year is just going to be a crapshoot. I think on figuring out is it I think it's going to be similar to what we were projecting for the Cowboys last year. Is it going to be a Cooper week? Is it going to be a Gallup week? Or is it going to be a Lamb week? It's going to be the same thing this year, but with the Bengals. Is it going to be a Chase week? Is it going to be a Boyd week? Or is it going to be a Higgins week? So I love T. Higgins for Dynasty. Redraft, I still love him, but I don't know where'd you say he was in ECR? 31?
You talking about T. Higgins?
Yeah.
He's 27, and
He's
Jamar Chase
27?
is 29. Yeah.
Oh.
Or you can wait till. I mean, it's not ADP like we talked about, but
yeah,
it's kind of going to be similar. Or you can wait till 36 and get Tyler Boyd.
I would do that, honestly.
I think so too. To me, I don't really want to touch any of the three of them because I don't want that problem. In one league, I had Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp on the same team, and it was a freaking nightmare week to week. Like, what's going to happen? I don't know if Cooper Kupp's going to catch a couple touchdowns or Robert Woods is who I meant to say.
Well, look at it this way. So we already know that division's getting one of the toughest schedules, period. All four teams. Look at it like this. Burrow had to throw like crazy last year. He'll probably have to do it again. AJ Green had 76 targets.
AJ Green's trash.
Yeah.
Now.
But my point is,
now
with three receivers on the field, Higgins and Boyd getting it done for you, AJ Green doing nothing for you, he was still targeted 76 times. So there's a share, That'd be my
that's a good point. That's a very valid point.
So, I mean, I think Burrow, it benefits Burrow to have those three really good receivers there, but it doesn't benefit the receivers. I don't know if that's what you just said. Sorry, actually, he saw 104 targets last year, AJ Green did.
Did he?
104.
Really?
Dude, 100. I'm looking at it right here. It's crazy talk.
Yeah, that just pushed.
Why?
Okay, so I did over the 11 games that he played
with Burrow. I'm sorry,
snaps. Right. Yeah. But
that's my reaction.
Right, but with Burrow, he had 76 targets. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, that's 11 game sample.
He saw quite a few. So we talked about the three receivers. I'm not talking about any of those tight ends. I don't care. Alden Tate. I'm with the Alden Tate.
I gave you the analysis that you needed for the tight ends.
My man.
Yeah,
I'm going to pull that clip and I'm just going to put that on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh God! All right, so the Cleveland Browns.
Wait! Hold on. I got something I wanted to share with you guys.
You have Shinfo?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second, my friend.
More Shinfo, and this time it comes in the form of the Cincinnati Bengals. I got a good one for you. Done a lot of research for this one. So there are no actual Bengal Tigers on the Cincinnati Bengals football team.
Not one.
Not a single one. Shinfo.
What a stupid name for a team then.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Dumbasses. Fucking if they put a Tiger as a linebacker, they would be unstoppable.
They would be a lot better. I think so. You talk about cannibalizing targets and like cannibalizing things. Somebody's getting eaten if there's a linebacker, a Tiger as a linebacker.
That's some good clean play.
I'm just saying. All right, Cleveland Browns, Baker Mayfield, QB 17 in ECR. To me, I thought that was a little bit low. But I do have a feeling he is going to be overdrafted just because of the you know how we think a team is going to do really well, we kind of boost all those players up. Mm-hmm. This team is going to run the hell out of the ball and play insane defense. Shane, all right. Shane, why should I draft Baker Mayfield as a top 15 quarterback in 2021?
Okay. He finished his QB 17 last year, correct?
It was around there. It wasn't super great.
He was a QB 2, mid to low QB 2. He had 3 games last year where he was playing in the middle of a fucking monsoon. They could not throw the ball to save their life. Either team. Unless God just hates Baker Mayfield and wants him to have to play 3 games a year in a monsoon, I don't foresee that happening again to affect him that severely. If I don't know what his points per game in those 3 games were, but they were right in the middle of the season, and I swear to God, they were back to back to back. After that point, he blew up. And I think he's getting more comfortable in this offense. And even if they are a rushing offense, I think he's so comfortable in it now, and Stefanski knows how to use him properly. I'm a huge guy on if you use a quarterback properly, he's going to succeed. It's why Lamar succeeded in his second year. It's why I think Mitchell Trubisky didn't succeed in Chicago outside of a handful of games. I think Baker is going to he'll be a QB 12. That's where I'm putting him this year.
Is that his ceiling, you're saying? Or you think that's just where he ends up?
I think that's where he ends up.
Okay. And for
I could see his ceiling being slightly higher than that, like maybe 9 or 10, but I think QB 12 is right where he's gonna be. He's gonna have Odell back, which I don't know if that actually benefits him. He'll have Higgins, DPJ, Landry, Hooper, Njoku, Harrison Bryant, and my boy Anthony Schwartz.
So you're very high on Anthony Schwartz.
I'm an Auburn fan, so yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But I think Schwartz is going to be good from a football standpoint. I don't know how good he'll be from a fantasy standpoint, at least this year. I would draft Baker as my QB2. I actually just did it in a startup. Now it was Dynasty, and oddly enough, Burrow was my QB1. But I'd take Baker as my QB2 in a heartbeat because I think the ceiling's a QB1.
That's fair. And between weeks 12 and 17 last year, I'm not going to add all the yards, but he had an 11-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
Yep.
So not bad. You're right. It seemed like it started clicking for him there. What about you, Jason? You are the quarterback apologist, the lover of all things quarterback.
So I'm coming with it. So, okay. So straight up, Shane's absolutely right. I put him at 13. Mostly because if you take the 4 games that he had to deal with all this BS, the guy he scored no touchdowns. So it was 3 games of the monsoon, 1 game against Pittsburgh, where he only scored 1.5 points. If you give this man, he didn't score any touchdowns in 4 games. If you give this man Odell Beckham Jr., he's going to score that touchdown for you. He goes from, I actually did the math here. He actually slides into QB 13 if he scores that's no yards, just 1 touchdown, 6 more fantasy points per those 4 games, the 3 that Shane mentioned with the monsoon and the 1 where Pittsburgh derailed them. Was that 6 times 4? So 24 points. 24 points put him at QB 13. That's not a lot of points. That's a big
swing. Yeah, that's good. That makes sense.
And you get OBJ, where this is a guy. I kind of need to say it to go along with it. This is a guy who, when you look at what he did last year, and you project that against 16 games, he would have come out as the wide receiver 13 at over 12 fantasy points a game. So I feel like the numbers are there.
So for me, Odell, I have to say this, and I'm no apologies here. He's better as a number 2 receiver.
I can't argue with that, and I'm a huge Odell fan.
It's a poop joke.
Hello?
I'm out. Y'all take care. I'm out with Jason.
I do agree, though.
And he's gone. Congratulations.
Shane just quit.
I love it. Well, and there it goes. There we have it, everybody. You've tuned in to the EJC podcast this week.
Jason left. Shane left. Listen, I do think it might be true. He might be better suited as a second. How about we'll say that? A second wide receiver.
Thank you. Jesus Christ.
I couldn't help myself. It just slid right out, if you know what I'm saying.
I fucking hate you, dude. You're fucking
okay. Right. Here's the one point that I think might concern you on Baker, but I think boosts Chubb and Hunt. Their defense is going to be much better this year. Obviously they signed Clowney. They drafted JOK. They drafted Newsome, I think, in the first round.
Yep.
Their defense is going to be stacked this year. They're also getting Greedy Williams back.
That escalated quickly. So.
How the fuck did he just spell escalated?
I don't know.
It
It was
wasn't right.
beautiful. Man, this really got away from me, but I'm here for it.
This team overall, I think, is going to be better this year.
Yeah.
Because they had a really good draft and free agency. So I think overall they might end up running the ball more, which may hurt Baker and the receivers a little bit, but it boosts Chubb and Hunt for me.
And it should do something for Baker's efficiency too, realistically.
Yeah,
if there's any indication, like we said, weeks 12 through 17, he was 11-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Alfonso said it was Google Translate. You're making fun of his freaking English, man. Oh, this is the best show. This is the funniest show we've done in a while.
This is my favorite one. This
All
is
right.
Fantastic.
Nick Chubb. I am in love with him.
Hey, yeah, I like Baker Mayfield too, man. What the fuck, dude?
Did you not get to? I thought you
No,
talked about Baker.
you skip me again. Every quarterback, you're just like, fuck him. Cam's just a good thing. I agree. So yeah, it's all good.
Cam, I actually, because Baker is my love. Like my boy Eagle Dan tweeted out, "You're a truther of one player. Who is it?" And reply with a GIF. And I replied with the press conference of Baker feeling dangerous. So I need your Baker take just to boost my ego.
Dude, so I'm going to tell you, he's one of the guys, just a little bit of backstory. I'm sure if you've seen this before, you people have heard it, but like fucking, I just got all the football fans. I just got back into football a couple years ago, and Baker Mayfield was a standout. I love that guy, and I love, this is a bias, I love a guy with a sense of humor. If they can play that off, and just like everything about the guy, he screams great, dude. He's a hell of a quarterback. He's fucking awesome. I love Baker Mayfield. Like I would take him if I got the chance. I would definitely take him.
Do you think Baker
he's why I'm a Browns fan, honestly.
Yeah. He does, dude. He's got a lot of swag, man. I remember Jason when he came out and replaced Tyrod, and we were watching the game. I think we were talking to each other on the phone or whatever. And I was like, dude, this guy reminds me of like a really swaggy, young, like Drew Brees. Just the way, like his release and everything, was so awesome. I love Baker Mayfield. I really do. Just for fantasy, I don't really. He's very man. I don't draft 2 quarterbacks like ever in redraft. Last year, I didn't draft 1 in our draft and still got, of course, second. But whatever.
That's awesome.
That's why.
Yeah.
No. I got second because bullshit. Alvin Kamara scored 6 touchdowns against me in the championship game. I don't want to fucking. Oh, okay. We're talking about Nick Chubb here. We're not talking about me always getting second at every freaking fantasy league I've ever been in.
Oh, yeah, we are. We are now.
I have some metrics for Nick Chubb, which, once again, I love him. He's probably if I'm a truther of anybody, Shane, it's probably Nick Chubb, legit. True yards per carry, 3rd. This is among running backs, right? Breakaway runs, despite missing 4, maybe 5 games, was number 2 behind. It was 4 games behind Derrick Henry. Evaded tackles, number 6. Juke rate, number 1. Yards created per touch, number 1. You can't tackle him. He's elusive. Wow. The only problem, which I think is minuscule now because that defense is so good, and I believe that team is going to be so good, is game script. He could get game scripted out if the Browns are down.
But
there's not going to be too many games that pisses
me off is he's talented enough to catch the ball.
Yes,
they just have Hunt, so they're not going to. But no, and with you talking about like his true yards per carry and his breakaway runs, I know how good that actually makes him just from like a true running back standpoint, because I wrote an article on Derrick Henry talking about, was it Derrick Henry or was it his offensive line? And really with Henry, it was kind of both. He's just really damn good. And then his offensive line was I think it was technically average, but they were good enough to help him out. So with Chubb being right there with him, to me, that screams that Chubb is one of the best running backs at actually getting his own yardage. Which I mean, your stats said that, but like just from my previous knowledge from doing that article, like it's reinforced in my head, like, oh damn, Chubb is, and I mean we know it, Chubb's good, but So yeah, if you can get Chubb and at his price, you're typically getting him in the second round. Smash the hell out of that because he's an RB1.
He's the RB8 right now in
Yep.
ECR. I think that's to me that's almost perfect, and I might have him just a tick higher, maybe 7, but not much higher than 8. So if you're getting him at value, I'm more than happy because if Kareem Hunt goes down, let's go. Like that's he's going to the moon. Cam, do you like Nick Chubb? But what do you think about Kareem Hunt as well? We'll kind of do the running back position as a whole.
I love Nick Chubb. I mean, y'all pretty much hit on it. He's going to be a monster this coming season. There's nothing really else to say about it, honestly. I mean, he's going to be fucking good. The numbers are there. You look at it, like y'all said, compared to Henry, he's going to be phenomenal. As far as Hunt goes, I like Hunt. He's not bad. Personally, and I know we're going down into it a little bit, you know, you're talking about guys that you just believe in. I do believe in Landry. If I had to,
He's
put it out there.
criminally underrated.
Yes, and so I'm going to tie that in with Hunt. I wouldn't mind taking Hunt. That would be awesome. I'm looking at Landry this year. But that's just me.
Jason?
No, I've got Jarvis Landry as my QB or my wide receiver 1 in that league. It's tight end premium. I've got Kelsey and Pitts, but I've got Jarvis Landry as my wide receiver 1 because he's criminally underrated. He's still going to get me the points that I need for that role. Shout out
PPR, come on.
Yeah. Shout out to Josh Fuster, who's in the comments. He actually did a video today talking about Nick Chubb being the most pure running back in the NFL. And I commented on it. I was like, there's no argument to this. And especially with the metrics that you mentioned, Erik, you can't argue it. He's the best pure running back in the NFL right now. No question.
He's it's just fun to watch him run. There's a couple people like CMC. Anytime Carolina's playing, I just want to watch because he's so electric. Same thing with Chubb. I'm like, all right, is he going to break away? You know, he's going to have a 15-yard run this time. Is he going to take an 82 to the house? It's wild. But yeah, Josh, I didn't watch your video, but I'm going to watch it now because that just reinforces and provides more love for my Nick Chubb manager.
And that screenplay that they called the Chubb in the playoff game, it was perfect.
All I'm saying is if I could get Chubb and Landry on the same team, I would be very, very happy with that.
Yeah. Jason, what do you got for I know you're a big do you have anything to add for Nick Chubb, number 1? And if not, we can go to Kareem Hunt because I know you're a big Kareem Hunt fan.
Yeah, I'll just say, when you got a duo that goes RB9 and RB10, what's not to love? I mean,
yeah.
I'm with both of them. I'm with drafting both these guys. Neither of them scare me. I'm happy to have either or both. I don't care.
And they both have individual value too. They're not just handcuffs. They both provide individual value. So
I prefer, again, I'm a big handcuff guy. This is a super handcuff. I want both if I can get both.
Yep.
Yeah, and Kareem Hunt is RB23 in ECR. So I don't know what that looks like in terms of overall, where you would have to take him in the 6th, 7th round, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on his draft price, but I'm happy with that too, Shane, especially depending on how I went construction with my team, right? If I'm a little more wide receiver heavy, God, I've been hearing all these 0 RB guys lately, guys and gals, I should say, and it grates on my nerves, and I just want to say you're wrong.
I unintentionally did it in a dynasty, and I will never, ever do it again. My wide receivers are fucking loaded, but I'm never doing 0 running back again.
You know what it's like? It's like your team is great, but it's like being fully dressed but without shoes on or something, and you still have to go out in public. It's the worst. You know what I mean? You got to drive without shoes on, but you still got your pants and stuff on. It just feels weird. I don't like it.
You want to hear my wide receivers in that league?
Yes.
Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and AJ Brown.
That's ridiculous.
Wow. What about
my running backs, though, starting are Trey Sermon and Phillip Lindsay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was going to just puke right there. He was like, okay. Oh.
Well, because I thought that maybe, I was like, well, he's probably still got some good, I don't know. That was, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. With a wide receiver core like that, I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I'll never do it again.
Not anybody builds teams like me, Cam. Okay, just so
Yeah.
you know. Jason, what do you got to say? All right, Jason, tell us about Jarvis Landry and actually, let me preface this first, and I'm gonna let y'all talk about whatever. Jarvis Landry, wide receiver 40 in ECR. Wow, yeah, whatever you want to talk about. Odell Beckham Jr., wide receiver 26 in ECR. What?
Repeat that for me.
Odell Beckham Jr. is wide receiver 26 in expert consensus rankings.
What is Jarvis?
40. Odell Beckham Jr. has not had a 100-yard game since week 6 of 2019. Get that garbage out of my face. I don't know who is on the rankings. Actually, I do know some people that are on the rankings, so I'm not going to talk shit about those people. But they're ranked. That's a name valued ranking or whatever. Like they see OBJ and they're like, oh, I got to have him up here because people are going to say something if I don't. That
I have
wide
receiver.
Those need to be flip flopped.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm fine with it.
Nah, I don't think that's fair. I mean, you're right. He hasn't had a one. You know, he hasn't had a game over 100 yards in 2 years. But he's all. If you look at what he actually accomplished over the 6 games he played in, he scored 74 points, which is an average of 12 something per game. If you score 12 points a game over 16 games, it looks like he actually lands with 196 fantasy points, making him the wide receiver 13. So if they put him at 26, is that what you said?
Yes.
Wow.
That's twice as bad as he would have ended had he played 16 games at that frequency.
To me, it looks like he was propped up by 2 games.
Okay.
One against Dallas, which we've already talked about that. Mm-hmm. He scored 2 touchdowns, had 5 catches for 81 yards. Hilarious. And then one against Cincinnati, who was not a very good team either. 4 catches, 74 yards, and 1 touchdown. The rest of the time, 22 yards, 59 yards, 58 yards, 25 yards, 0 yards.
And they have look, everybody knows they have locker room issues. Everyone knows he can be a diva. It's all been out in the media for everyone to see. But the Browns were killer last year, and they really changed, I feel like, as a team, the back end of the season.
When he got hurt.
Yeah, well.
Yes.
So I love Odell Beckham Jr. I loved when the Browns went and traded him because it put my 2 favorite players in the NFL on the same team. I want him to get traded. I think Baker's a better. I think Baker's a better quarterback without him because he doesn't feel like he has to force him the ball.
Baker's very like target. Jesus Christ, agnostic. Yeah. He doesn't care who you are. Yeah. If you're open, he's throwing you the ball, which is why Jarvis Landry gets the ball so much because Jarvis is always open.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't know, man. I don't know what happened if Odell like let his fame get to his head or like whatever. We had a funny joke earlier, Jason.
Nope, just stop.
We're not going to repeat it.
Move on.
We're not going to say it for the second time.
Thing. He can watch it later and be mad then.
All right. Okay. So, Shane, you had mentioned Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ. A big, I guess he was a get for me all over Dynasty last year. I'm pretty sure I have him in pretty much every league. Alfonso says for us to say the joke.
No.
Cam will tell you later.
Yeah.
What was I going with this? He's wide receiver 104 in ECR, which I think is just nuts. But especially
smash that value.
That's what I'm saying. And like, especially the potential for Odell to get traded. He immediately moves up to the number 2 wide receiver position. Well, I guess Rashard Higgins, but
he's going to be a play in the slot though.
Yeah, and I think Peoples-Jones he flashed a couple times last season.
Yeah, I last year with the makeup that the Browns had of knowing that they had Jarvis, Odell, and Higgins, I said they either needed a big guy or a super fast guy. Well, last year they took DPJ, so there's your big guy.
Mhm.
And I love the fit from a real football standpoint of him being there. And then he showed the talent that he actually has and how limited he was at Michigan because Shea Patterson sucks a dick.
Hot take.
No, it's not a hot take.
Not.
does.
It does.
Then this year they took Anthony Schwartz. So now they the way I would construct my rosters is you've got a route technician or two, you've got a big guy, and you've got a small fast guy, and then somewhere in there someone who can play the gadgety role. The fast person can be that. One of your route technicians can be that. So basically, I want three types of receivers and probably two of one. The Browns have that now. And DPJ is going to fit that role of the big guy, and he's a deep threat. Like, for someone that big, he's a freak athlete. I think he's going to ball out this year, even as the third option for Baker. And there seemed to be some chemistry there. So
I forget who went down. Maybe it was after the OBJ injury. It was the game after or the game after that. DPJ went down the sideline for like a 60-yard bomb.
I know exactly which play you're talking about.
Just like a gazelle, bro. It was awesome. It was cool. We're cutting Cam out of here. He said he'll be right back. Everybody's going to the bathroom or doing something. But
I wanted to get another beer earlier and pee.
Yep, same.
I've definitely. You were on the podcast with Upsides, like their day 2 draft thing, right? Yeah. I left like 3 times to keep refilling my beers.
Nice.
Dude, I was kind of smashed by the end of that podcast. I'll be honest with you. Like,
I think that's when I came on, and we were all just having a good time at that point.
Man, we were just being wild. It was awesome. But let's talk about the tight ends real quick for Cleveland. Austin Hooper, Njoku. We've got I forget the other kids. You mentioned him early.
Josh, shut your mouth. Harrison Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
What is he saying? Good job keeping this interesting, even though you're talking about the Browns. Oh, I love it. Josh said he's a Ravens fan, so hopefully you heard all
about that. He
did.
hate.
All the hate that Jason and Cam had mentioned about the Ravens earlier.
Yeah. He also just needs to listen to the nightcap because my co-host Fox talks about how much he hates Lamar Jackson all the time.
It's like an ongoing theme.
Yeah.
Hey, so are any of these tight ends worth drafting in 2021? That's what I'll ask.
If you punt tight end, yes.
Let's see. I want to see who's going around. Let's say Austin Hooper, for instance. I want to see who's going around him.
Okay.
And see if you would like that person better.
Yeah. For Dynasty, I really like Bryant. For Dynasty, also I like Njoku if he can get off the Browns.
Yeah. Yes, he's a trade for and stash, and his value is low right now. You don't have to. I'm sure you wouldn't have to pay even in a tight end premium league.
4th round.
Yeah, I mean something crazy. So I've already got a problem with this. Austin Hooper is ECR 19.
Mm-hmm.
Cole Kmet is right below him. Jared Cook.
Give me Cole Kmet all day and twice on Sunday.
I want Cole Kmet and I want Jared Cook above
no, I'll take Cook over Cook.
Jared Cook's the only freaking tight end in Los Angeles with Justin Herbert. No. Let's go.
They have Parham and they drafted. I'm not a Parham truther, but there's going to be some competition there. I think they drafted somebody too. Was it McKitty? I think they drafted Trey McKitty. Yeah. I think Trey McKitty could end up winning that job, to be honest.
Where was he drafted? Let me see here. I've got the actual results.
So there's a deep stash at tight end for you is Trey McKitty, Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, go for that.
Don't tell them that. They're gonna draft him now. He's going to stay on the taxi squad anyways.
I don't have that many picks. So.
Dude, I've been in so many rookie drafts already. It's stupid.
I tried, man. So I was in like probably 8 dynasty leagues last season. I got out of all but 3 of them this offseason because I just couldn't, man. The waiver wire stuff was just it was like a chore for me. So I was like, I
think I'm over 20 now.
Bro, it's too much.
That's crazy.
One of the guys in one of my leagues, he says
it hurts my brain.
It's crazy. One of the guys in one of my leagues
hey,
is
Jason.
101.
Yeah.
Cam, now I got to, because Eric is joining this league. We're still trying to fill it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
in
right. Yeah.
3 of these leagues. They're called multiverse leagues.
Okay.
You have it's 2 leagues parallel to each other. You have a team in each league. So in the startup, it's 2 startup drafts and then 2 rookie drafts.
Wow.
You cannot so like if I've got Patrick Mahomes in one league and not in the other, I cannot trade him directly to my team in the other league. Everybody has to stay in their respective league. But you can leverage trades from one league to the other. So like you could trade Patrick Mahomes in one league and get Josh Allen and Cole Kmet, just throwing something random out there. But you could basically trade Mahomes in one league, get nothing in that league, and then get something in the other league and not have to give anything up in that league too.
That is wild,
I'm in
man.
3 of those. Well, I'm in 2, and Eric and I are filling a 3rd and going to draft that soon.
So if y'all want to hurt your brain,
That's a lot. Oh, man. I am not ready for that. Give me a few more years.
What?
I feel like I could do it.
Okay.
Hell
I
yeah.
just followed you on Twitter, so I'll shoot you a DM.
So,
Nice.
Our boy Keith, he's come on here as a guest a few weeks ago. He's got this thing called hashtag selfish predictions where he'll say Sam Darnold's going to throw for 4,500 yards and 40 touchdowns because he's on his dynasty roster. So he's got Cole Kmet, so he's coming in here letting us know selfish predictions. Josh says he's in far too many leagues. I feel you. Listen, I'm in those. We're going to start those 2 multiverse leagues. I guess it's 1, but technically 2, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty much back where I was now. I miss drafting, man. Arizona needs to
That's
get
my
hip.
problem.
Arizona needs to get hip with the times because I would probably take a budget of like $200 and just do $201 best ball drafts. If I could do that, I'd be fine.
A trade was just completed in a league.
Ooh.
See, it's crazy because like I only play in the one dynasty league, and I'm doing another startup league this year. But like, I have a shameless plug. We've put so much time and effort in the Dungeons and Drag Routes talk show that I feel like that I can't help but stay. I don't know. It's like, and then the whole multiverse league. Like I said, I'm still new to this whole thing, so like that's like I said, that's completely above my comprehension. Like that's a lot because I mean, let's all be real. Anybody that's in our league knows I struggle a little bit, just a little bit. So
He does. He's not the brightest crayon in the box.
not great. So I got this thing that I do real quick, and I'll shut up, I promise. But I got this thing I do where if I send somebody an offer, and they like hit me with some stupid like counter or something, yeah, we'll go with Shinfo. They hit me with a counter real quick, and I don't like it. Just to be a dick, I'll lower my offer. So say if I offer a first round for somebody, they hit me with a counter, I don't like it, then I'll send a second round for the same person just to show dominance. Motherfuckers.
And this is why we can't do trades in our league.
Pretty much.
All right, hit us with the Cleveland Browns Shinfo, Cam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, give me 1 second. So this one.
Nice.
So the Browns mascot is a bulldog because brown is a color and not a mascot. Also, their primary color is orange. The whole thing should be investigated by the NFL because obviously there's a fucking nut job sitting in there who just can't. They're going to fucking paint the field brown instead of just letting the grass die like their hopes of ever winning a Super Bowl.
And Shane quit. Dude, that was a wild ride. That's like scary.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
what
took
was
you there.
happening.
You didn't know where it was going to go, and at the
That was
end, it came.
intense.
Shane is rage quit
And
on
he's
us,
gone.
basically. Just so we'll pull back the curtain a little bit. Shane just sitting in the chat. Go fuck yourself. LOL.
I love it.
We'll go ahead and start with the Steelers real quick then. Ben Roethlisberger, QB 22 in ECR.
I love you, Shade.
I don't
I love
care.
you.
I don't care where he's at. I'm not drafting him. Just straight up.
I
What do
mean,
you
they
think?
got the hardest schedule. They have the hardest schedule in the NFL, and we want to believe he can throw at those 3 receivers and make magic happen. or you can count Ebron too if you want.
Exactly.
But I just don't think that even if the man came out there and looked like himself from 5 years ago, that they could keep him upright for 17 games. So
they have the hardest schedule, and he's got the weakest arm. In the NFL.
He's got a noodle arm.
He's a little noodle. Arm. It's like when you throw, it's a pool noodle. You throw it and you slap the pool with it.
It's got no strength behind it at all when it smacks.
If you swing it, like you could have like Vladimir Guerrero Jr. swinging that thing, and it wouldn't hurt because there's just nothing behind it. Anything that does anybody have anything else to say about Ben Roethlisberger? Great weapons.
I'd take him this year as a depth QB.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's what
you're talking. Okay, if you're talking like you have a super flex and redraft, I'd be happy with him as like my
QB3.
Depending on who I get, I was gonna say if I get Mahomes at like 102 or something or 101, I might take him as my second quarterback. Just
totally.
Just because I can load up on the other positions. But,
so I took over an orphan and I have Dak as my QB1. Roethlisberger is my QB2.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's not bad. Yeah.
And the QB scoring is ridiculous, so I'm kind of okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm riding Lamar Jackson, and then I got Roethlisberger behind him. I mean, it's nice that he's a nice depth piece.
Mm-hmm.
You okay over there?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about everybody's favorite person. Everybody but my favorite person, I suppose. Najee Harris, RB14 in ECR.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask this to you, Cam, first.
Mm-hmm.
James Robinson, his 2018 season was kind of his breakout, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Was really, really, really good. He was the RB, I want to say 5 or 6. 7. There we go. It was around there, depending on your scoring, I suppose.
Yeah.
Could we see something like that from Najee in his rookie season? And I'm going to ask that to all of y'all.
Well, so, I mean, the hype is there, man. It's there. I mean, everybody that you'll give a chance to talk about Harris to, they're gonna tell you, hey, he's gonna be the next greatest thing, and he's got the potential where he's at to do amazing things. So, I mean, I'm kind of a believer. I don't want to be on a bandwagon or anything, but I think he's going to be a phenomenal running back out of there. I think he's going to be wild.
Jason,
I have him as an RB11 or RB12, simply because if you look at games where James Conner had 16 or more carries last season, he was actually consistently around RB12 to 15 when they actually gave him carries. So we know Najee's going to have carries. He's younger. He's 6'2". He's was he 230 or something like that?
230.
He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big guy. He can handle some linebackers, especially today's linebackers.
Oh yeah,
kind of the way Henry does.
Yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, I like him 11 or 12. RB 11 or 12.
Shane, were you with me, or were you saying smash all the RG shares that you can get, or the Najee shares you can get?
I was smashing that. Yeah. He landed in so I've got the 101 in my home dynasty. I was honestly thinking about going Chase pre-NFL draft. The one thing that was going to change it for me was where Najee landed. He landed in the one spot I wanted him.
So I'm going through some comments real quick. So for me, it's all about the offensive line. Last year James Robinson, Jesus. Freaking
James
Conner. Thank you, Jesus. It's late. My brain isn't working. I'm not drinking either, so I don't know. Maybe I need beer.
That's what it is. When in doubt, drink a beer.
He had Villanueva. He had whoever freaking just retired. I seriously can't think right now.
Riley Reef.
He had Pouncey. He had Filer. He had all these folks. They're all gone. Have you seen their starting offensive line?
I'm not worried about it. James Conner. Najee's better than James Conner.
Oh,
I can't stand James Conner. Najee's better than James Conner by a country mile. I'm not worried about it. And so I'm an Auburn fan, so I hate Alabama. Najee can catch. Like, doing my film study, Najee can almost catch like a wide receiver. It's like, I was not rating him high enough on his receiving. He can catch the fucking ball.
Yep.
He's going to get touches in that offense. And I don't care about his offensive line because I think he's probably going to – this is the hottest take I'm giving you.
Spicy take in.
I'm ready for it.
he's gonna be like Henry and Chubb to where he creates his own yardage.
Right.
I think
No,
he's that talented.
I completely agree.
And-
Look, he's got the size, and you
Yeah.
look, straight up, volume trumps offensive line, and you know this.
Yep.
If you look back, it does it every
Okay,
single time.
That's fair. Yeah.
Say it
And he's
again.
gonna get the volume because he's like, here are the rest of the running backs on the roster. Maybe here was James Conner. Najee's like up here.
Yeah.
And I was low, like honestly, I was lower on him, and part of that was because I know the Alabama bias that's in my home league because I'm from there. So I was like, I can get other players that I want later in drafts because Najee and Devontae and Waddle are all going to be boosted up. But he landed in Pittsburgh, and that's the one spot I was like, I can't pass on this. Like, I absolutely 100% cannot pass on this. And they drafted some offensive linemen later in the draft. It's not going to be the greatest offensive line we've ever seen. But I think it'll be okay enough that Najee's going to be able to make do with it.
We'll see. Like I said, I don't think they're going to create any yards for him at all. He is talented. And maybe I think I'm more thinking of from a dynasty perspective. He's already 23 years old.
Yeah.
Cam Akers is a full 2 years younger than him. And I'm just going to bring Cam Akers into this one time. And
Give me Cam Akers.
You're not. Give me $40 and you can have Cam Akers.
Deal.
But like in the
You
ECR,
heard it here
least,
first, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a
DeAndre
gentleman's agreement.
J.K. Dobbins, CEH are all going behind him. I would rather have all three of them before I take Najee Harris. Personally. But
I can't argue with that, to
digress.
be honest.
I digress. I just think it's his being the first round guy and all that stuff. The hype is going to get out of control, and because it's for the Steelers and the good running backs come from the Steelers. It's a different situation, man. Ben Roethlisberger is 39 years old. He's good. He's old as shit. Like I'm wary. Let's just put it that way. I don't mind taking Najee, but I'm not going to take him at the set value. I think that you're going to have to take him at once
One of non-superflex drafts.
Yes, I wouldn't. I really don't like the class this year that much. Is why I sold all my picks. But I mean, I could see him. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like talking about Najee Harris. I just don't. I don't like talking about the Steelers. I don't know who put this in the show doc. Why are we talking about the Steelers?
Fuck,
it was me.
I don't know.
It was me again. Damn.
I hate the Steelers too.
We got a few Steeler fans in our dynasty league, and they watch, and this is just great for me. I just wish I could hear it right now.
Keith,
Who
right
wrote Najee equals Le'Veon 2.0? Who wrote
That's
that?
Keith.
Keith, Steelers fan.
Keith.
He's for sure.
Don't-
He's
don't
just saying
make
that
me.
because he has the 101 in our non-superflex league. That's why he's saying it. He's just trying
We
to
all
pep himself
support
up.
the pick. We all support the pick, but no.
And Keith said this in rebuttal.
Yes.
And in hell.
Oh,
All right.
All right, so we got so we have three very young, not very, but we have three young, very talented wide receivers on this team.
They're very young.
They are.
One's 24.
Juju's 24. Yeah, they are. So they're very young. We got Deontay Johnson, wide
They're
receiver,
younger
22.
than me.
Mhm.
Definitely younger than all four
Yeah.
of us. man.
Mhm.
Hold
Chase
on, we got to
Claypool.
play a game now.
Okay.
I love this game. How old do you think I am?
Ooh, who wants to go first?
I feel like you've said this before. I'm going to say 29.
Okay.
You're 31.
Okay.
Fuck it, I'll take the middle. I'm gonna say 30.
You're all wrong. I'm 26.
Oh,
Is that
Well-
is that hurtful or is that are you?
I'm used to it. I've been told I look older my entire life. When I was 15, people thought I was 18. It's the beard and the chest hair.
So let me ask y'all this. Oh, actually, I'm not y'all because you know how old I am. You two do. How old am I?
32.
33.
it's close.
You close. Heck yeah. I thought the lack of beard might throw you off, but we got
No.
way out of. We're just going to talk about each other. But Deontay Johnson, wide receiver,
You're all
22.
beautiful, and I love you guys so much.
Our next
Shut up,
dude,
Cameron.
thanks-
So
Oh, name
shut
Bob.
that mouth. You shut that mouth.
Erik, Juju, and Deontay are 24.
Jesus.
Shit.
As he's known in this podcast, Clace Chapel is wide receiver 31, and
Once you
Juju
say
is
it once, it never goes away.
it never goes away. Wide receiver 32. The crazy thing for me, so ourlads.com, I don't know if Deontay is 22, which I think is a little bit high. Juju is listed per ourlads.com, which is a great depth chart site. They do a lot of other stuff, but I like their depth charts. As the outside receiver, if y'all have ever seen Matt Harmon's reception perception, he does not do well against man coverage or press coverage. He's awful, like 5 percentile, the 5th percentile. So if he's going to be starting at the outside, fade. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Yep.
Give me Claypool out of all the three of these guys.
100%.
It's 1,000% my Notre Dame bias, but after what you saw from him last year, how can you not take Claypool? The touchdown upside there is there. The usage creativity is there. Fucking take Claypool. I like Deontay. That's not like I don't like Deontay, but at the price, I want Claypool.
Yeah, you're definitely getting discount on Claypool, especially if Deontay, if his ADP reflects what it is right now. Wide receiver 22, that's really high to me. I'm not going to say really high, but that's a few spots high. I'm going to see, Jason, what do you think? Who do you like? Rank these three for us, actually, and take it like a value perspective.
All right. Well, okay. So Claypool is the 19th. He was wide receiver 19 last year. Juju was the wide receiver 21, and Deontay Johnson was a wide receiver 24. So that's really close there. They're kind of a little cluster. We don't expect Ben to do as well. We know however, they're playing really difficult defenses. Man, you want me to rank all three? Because I'm only invested in Clace Chapel as well.
That's fine, man. I mean, just get him out.
I like him to stay a top 20 guy. I don't like Juju to stay even a top 30 guy. I'm okay with Deontay Johnson being top 40 guy, if that makes any helps at all.
I think it's just the pure, like, I think the other side of the argument for Deontay Johnson has always been he's the one that gets the targets. His target share is higher than everyone else's. But as Keith said, he's got to fix the drops. I don't care about drops for fantasy, but real life NFL teams do care about drops, and that can affect his usage rate. So you're absolutely right, Keith.
You're talking about you're talking about the toughest schedule in the NFL. So
facts.
The guy who's getting all the targets, I don't want him. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't want him. I don't want him in that offense.
Is that from he's going to see the best corner perspective? Gotcha.
In that offense with that quarterback with that offensive line, I don't want him.
Got you. What about you, Cam? Are you a Clace fan?
Yeah,
Chapel fan or
Chapel all day out of all these three. And honestly, like Johnson and Schuster's interchangeable to me. Like with the drops, and I just never been a Schuster believer. Like cool man. I feel like in all honesty,
good season.
Right, and I feel like he's going to be one of those guys with AB. Yeah,
with
and
AB, exactly. Yeah.
I don't think that I don't like bringing this stuff up, but like I just think the off-field stuff is going to catch up with him eventually, and it's because NFL teams don't like that. They don't like the controversy or whatever, and all it's going to take is one slip up, and then he's, I don't know. Like I said, Clace Chapel, that's my boy.
Cam does have a point. Like all you heard before he re-signed with the Steelers is that he wanted to get out to Hollywood.
Yep.
So it was kind of shocking for me to see him resign.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. I was shocked.
Yeah.
I want him to get the hell out of town too, because I'm worried that the way that he acts is rubbing off on Claypool.
Well, as a Tennessee Titans fan, I hope they all stay there. Let the whole team burn.
As a Browns fan, same here. But as a Notre Dame fan, I want Claypool to succeed.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the tight ends here. Eric Ebron, he's the tight end 23.
Who cares?
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. And I had this diatribe here. Freaking, he's had one really good season, when he was the only weapon for Andrew Luck. He caught 13 touchdowns. His volume was, well, he did see like 101 targets, but he caught 13 touchdowns. He scored 19 touchdowns in his other 6 seasons in the NFL combined.
Yeah.
That was a one-off.
You know what's
Erik
shocking
Ebron's-
to me about Ebron is he's only 28.
He's,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, I
a
always
old
think
Swear to God,
man.
he should be like 35 at this point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't
I
stand
don't-
him. I don't want anything to do with Ebron.
I don't like the way
I'm
the
the same.
conversation's going because I'm an owner of Ebron, and I had him up on the trade block, and I had somebody fishing for him, and I feel like after this episode, because he watches this show, he's gonna be like, nah, fuck it. I think every little bit of hope that he had left, like all of us just dogging, he's gonna be like, fuck the trade.
So whoever that was, over 6 seasons, he's had 6 more touchdowns than his one really good season he had. Just saying. Pat Freiermuth. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
I was getting ready to say the same thing. Pat Freiermuth, like
He's going to be
Go
playing
get-
right tackle for this team, right? Because the
right.
offensive
Well,
line is so bad. Okay.
go get him late. And then next year, when there's a rookie quarterback or Mason Rudolph trots his ass out there,
Just trying to say.
Smashed in the head with a helmet again.
Yeah.
Fucking
Freiermuth
asshole.
is your guy. So I like getting Freiermuth late in drafts and hang on to him, especially if he's in Dynasty. Hang on to him. Give him a couple
Yep.
years. I'm not saying he's Hawkinson, but he could be.
You know who I like him? It's a tight end from last year, Adam Troutman. He was somebody you could take really late in rookie drafts, stash him on your taxi squad, and this year he might have some sort of dynasty value. I think Freiermuth
I think you're
is
having
kind
to
of the
get
same.
Freiermuth early though, just because he is the tight end 2 of the class.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like Troutman, I feel like went like 4th, 5th round.
He was.
Freiermuth, you've got to get late 2, maybe early 3.
That's
But-
a fair
and
point.
that's-
So,
I would smash him at that value. Like, take Freiermuth if you can get him in your rookie drafts.
sweet.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. 4 teams down. We had some really funny jokes in there as well. Some Shane had to cut off his camera for. His laughter was such that he couldn't control the convulsions that were happening. Cam,
It was something.
do you need to say anything about any quarterbacks before we go?
We need Shinfo on the
Where's
Yeah.
the Steelers info?
You just said you woke up this morning and was like, I'm not gonna fucking help Cam out at all. Like, I get it. Anyway, I'm gonna move past it. Shinfo. I got the Steelers. Erik, you're gonna like this one. The Steelers are the AFC Cowboys. They are the second worst thing to happen to the NFL. The Cowboys being the first. Shinfo.
Ouch.
The worst thing
I'll
that's ever
say this
happened
one
to me
publicly. Go fuck yourself.
is meeting.
I love it.
You.
He is
This is-
mean. He's just mean.
this is
That's
weird.
why we like him.
This is the first time we've ever had another Cowboys fan on here ever. And I'm happy for you, Erik. Finally that you got some support in here. Because next week I'm just gonna keep ripping them apart and you're gonna be on your own.
That's fine. That is fine. So, anyways, Shane, anything you want to plug? I won't say plug. Anything you want to promote before you get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Erik, I don't know if you know about this, just because we've known each other relatively short time. I run a charity tournament. It's a redraft tournament, Superflex tiered PPR. Scott Fish inspired me to start running it because I was actually in his division last year. So it's called Polly's Playoff. It's a $10 entry fee that's actually donated directly to the Alzheimer's Association. So we started it last year, raised almost $5,000. We're trying to double the amount of teams this year. We're at about 80 right now. Our goal is 240. We'll draft probably in August, and lead right into the NFL season. But it's a $10 entry fee. All the information's pinned to my Twitter account. It's called Polly's Playoff, a tournament to end Alzheimer's. So that is what I'd like to plug. Thank you guys for
That's
having me
awesome,
on.
man.
And for shouting me out and let me kind of talk about that even briefly and talking about the Browns and the AFC North. I had a great time.
Good. I'm glad you came on, man. You're our first guest outside of our little friend circle.
Yeah.
So I just had to make sure that Cam was going to be calm. That's basically what it was. He wasn't going to just start screaming at you.
I think
You're not our friend. I don't know who you are.
I have
You know.
I have issues. No, dude, it was a blast having you on. This was phenomenal, and I love the fact that you came in ready to have some fun. You know, that's my biggest concern whenever we talk about bringing guests on. I'm like, I just, because my Twitter thing is Cam the Unprofessional, and I think it shows true. So
these are facts. So for me, for Cam, for Jason, Shane, once again, thanks for coming on. We're out of here. We'll see y'all next week. And Cam, it's just me and you on here. Shane, feel free. I don't know if you're a wrestling fan at all.
We was back in the day.
We do a Wolfpack sign off, the click, if you will. So, boom,
man,
fellas, stick them up there. Woo!